Hey, what's up you guys? So today I'm here to talk about the Polyend tracker. I mentioned this briefly in my studio tour video, saying that I would do a video on it. It is one of my current favorite pieces of gear, and I've written so much music on it in the past couple of weeks, so I've been very eager to make this video. Just as a heads up, I'm not going to be doing a full feature rundown and explaining every single thing the tracker does, because there are other people out there that do that. I will give you a quick overview of what it does and how to use it, and then I'll demo it. For this video, I did team up with the YouTube channel Ben and Gear, or Ben Jordan of the Flashbulb. I've been a fan of his music for a long time, so it was a really cool opportunity to get to collab on a video about our trackers. So basically, we decided to make a sample pack for one another, and then trade sample packs, and then use them to basically chop up and mangle and write a song on the tracker that's like a minute long. It's just a quick demo. And then we decided to take it a step further and do another giveaway. So basically, if you're into remixing or electronic music or synthesizers at all, then this video is for you, because the samples that you're going to hear are available, both my sample pack and Ben's sample pack, to download, so that you can also just use them for your own purposes. But if you want to make a remix, you can submit it, and the winner will win their own Polyend tracker or choice of other Polyend instrument. And the runner-up will win, I think it's a Steam gift card, so that's cool. So if you're into video games, like, sick. Synthesizers, video games, we're all in quarantine. These are great quarantine hobbies. Okay, and just to clarify, you can make the remix with either, any, or all of our sample packs. They're all recorded at 130 BPM, so hopefully that will make things easier for you guys, and hopefully that clears up some questions ahead of time. So now a little bit about what the tracker is and what it does. So basically, the tracker is an early form of sequencing that originated on the Amiga way back when, where notes are arranged on a vertical scrolling timeline, rather than left to right like in modern day piano rolls. This was all totally a foreign concept to me. I am too young to have used trackers, so I didn't know what they were, or that they even existed, or that this was a way of making music. So I went into this no clue of what I was doing. That should be a testament for how easy it is to use. It might look really intimidating at first, but I swear to you it is not. So basically, the tracker lets you make massive patterns. It allows for 48 instruments at a time, 128 steps per pattern, and up to 256 patterns. Basically, you're sequencing your sequences. You can import your own samples via micro SD card, or you can capture them right on the tracker. It does have a line in and a mic so that you can record directly into it. It also will capture FM radio. What? I'll kind of get into that a little bit more when I'm demoing like the tracker in front of the camera. It also has wavetable and granular synthesis for deep sound design. Okay, so here's my super quick Polyend tracker overview. Basically, it is a vertical scrolling multi-dimensional piano roll. We'll go with that. So it has 8 different tracks that can play simultaneously. You have note, instrument, effects 1, and effects 2. And basically, that directly corresponds to these parameters right here. So let's do C5, and instrument lets you pick which sample it pulls from. Then if I was just going to do an effect on this note, let's go here, we'll say volume, and then fill. So basically, these buttons correspond to whatever you're seeing on the screen here. It's not a touch screen, these are not velocity sensitive, this interacts with this, these are the navigating buttons, and then the jog wheel lets you scroll up and down. So we'll do volume here. You can also use the jog wheel. Okay, so for effects 2, let's just go through some of the options. So you have volume, pan, micro tune, glide, tempo, micro move, chance, roll, random note, random instrument, effects value, random volume. You can reverse the sample, change the position of the sample, slice it, volume LFO, panning LFO, filter LFO, position LFO, low pass, band pass, high pass, delay send, and then all the MIDI CCs and break pattern. So now let me show you the sample loader. So basically what you're going to do is you put your samples on your SD card, you scroll down to tracker samples, and then you can go into any of your folders and select any of the samples that you made. This will show you how much memory you have. The shorter the samples you use, the less memory they'll take up pretty much. The number that the instrument is set at in the pattern panel will directly correspond to these numbers that you set up here. So you can basically make any of these samples, any of these numbers, and they directly correspond to this little grid down here. You can also play back the samples here just to test them, and you can edit them, and then that just saves it that way. It doesn't change what's on the SD card though. So song function basically just lets you organize your patterns. This is the perform mode. These are instrument parameters. My favorite function of the tracker, is the fill function. Basically, you go in here and I'm going to select everywhere I want it to fill, which is the whole pattern. Go into fill. Let's do every 4. No, let's do the instrument. Okay, so every 4 random, pulling from the sample pool 1 to 40. So cool. Now let's go over here. Select that one. This time let's do every 2 random from 1 to 40. And this one we're going to do every 1 from 1 to 40. So let's check this out. Okay, that one was less impressive. On the plus side, I did save the last one I did, which was the exact same process. I did a random note fill here, every 2 there, and every single one there. And then I added a couple little rolls in here. This is a completely tracker-generated pattern that I created based on the parameters that I set in the fill function. So let's see what that sounds like. So personally, that's my favorite feature of the tracker. Like I said, I'm not going to get too deep into it. There are a lot of people that do a way better job than I could ever do. That's just a quick overview. It's really not as intimidating as it looks, you guys. Trust me. So anyways, let's get back to the song making and remixing. Cool, so now I'm going to check out some of the samples that Ben sent me. Okay, I know this camera setup is really wonky. I'm using 2 iPhones, not even my own, clipped to random things, so I'm sorry you guys. The video thing is a process. So I know Ben sent me some footage of him making samples for me, so let's check that out.
This is my upright that's in my studio, and I have some mics inside it, but I'm also using this Zoom H6 to give myself a little metronome and to also sort of monitor myself a little bit better. And I guess I'm just going to play some things that are compatible with C Dorian to the BPM of 130. Might as well do some D sharp. What you're hearing and seeing right now is Pure Data, which is an amazing open source audio development platform made by the fella who made Max MSP. What I'm using here is Pure Data Extended. It's been floating around on my hard drive for what seems like 10 years. What I'm going to try to do to it is synchronize it to 130 BPM, which, long story short, I've never done it before, and I'm going to try it now. What we want to do is convert the tempo to a millisecond. How did I screw this up already? What am I doing wrong? This should be 130 BPM. I guess I'm just going to noodle around a bit, and that will be the first thing to send to Sarah, I suppose. Ooh, maybe I'll drop one of these pitches down and create a bass. Now I'm going to go completely dry, and I'm actually going to change some of these generators from the Turing machines. Now I can actually play around with like the pattern generator and some of this logic and actually make a little bit of a different pattern, maybe going a bit faster. I'm going to do some of these drum sounds from a Machine Drum SPS-I UW Plus, and let's play with that a little bit. Not bad. think I got all the percussion down and a lot of the melody down. I think I'm going to finish this off by just creating some wavetables and I guess just analog bass notes from the modular, which would be really boring to watch, but that should be a decent sample pack, I do reckon.
Okay, so now let's go into the song that I made out of the samples Ben gave me. So that is the song that I made out of Ben's samples. If you want to download the sample packs for either my samples or his, they are in the link in the description below. I hope to see some of your guys' remixes. I'm very excited about that. That's awesome. I feel very fortunate to be able to do another contest giveaway this month and last month, so that's kind of crazy. I hope you'll check out the tracker. I really love it. I think it's been so much fun to work with. And Polyend makes a couple other really cool instruments too. You should definitely check them out. Thanks so much for watching, you guys. I'll see you around.